Welcome to Real Life Investing. This is Al getting in contact with you guys. Going to talk to you about Polyswarm, NCT. We talked about Polyswarm a time or two, but let's just go ahead and start looking at some things very quickly here. Polyswarm right now is up just a tad bit, almost 0.5%. Right now it's at about 2 cents. Now, I know that, let's see, I would be hoping for this thing to go a little bit lower, but right now it doesn't look like some of these are going much lower. Let's take a look at the 7-day. Over the 7-day, it has gone lower. What's this? 4.6%. So it's down in this little bottom trench here. Let's talk about the 1 month. It's been up about 17%. There was a good time here where it was under 2 cents, and this was a nice little area. Don't know if it's going to get under 2 cents again right away, or anytime recent. How can I say anytime soon? I don't know, but at the same time, that was a good place to start accumulating it. Now, still at the point it's at now is not very bad at all. So just a little heads up on that, guys. Now let's keep it moving a little bit. Over the 1 year, it is up about 24%. So just a heads up. Now, one of the impressive things about this is that the market cap is about 40 million. So that means that this has a long ways to go as far as like market cap lies. The good part is that Polyswarm has been able to rack it up far from this level at different times. The circulating supply is actually out there, so there's no worry of inflation at all. This is going to be something that is fully diluted, so we're not going to have to worry about that at all. So let's just keep that in mind. Let me try to keep it moving on here if I can. Just got to work on this. Here we go. We cleared my drawings. Keep it moving. Now, let's keep going a little bit and talk some more. Let's go ahead and start setting a little bit of a scene here as far as like we know that Bitcoin is going to be at, 119,000 is getting up there a little bit. And Ethereum appears to be approaching 3,800 again. Yeah, pretty much is there. So 3,799. Yeah, so it's probably going to be there in just a moment. Fear and greed is at 67. Market cap is almost at 4 trillion again. So these are some nice records that are taking place. Have a long ways to go on a lot of things, but that's looking pretty good. See if there's anything else we want to look at right away. But I think that let's see, where's Avalanche? I'm looking at Avalanche as always. Remember, it was under 20 a lot. Now it's at 25. So that's like a 20% gain for a lot of you that were looking for that. Actually, that's a 25% gain, my bad. So anyways, let's keep it moving a little bit. Polyswarm. Let's talk a little bit more about Polyswarm. But before we do, let's take a look at the alt season here. Notice right here, the indicator says 58 out of 100. So that means we're going closer to altcoin time. So we're not there yet. Just a heads up on that. We're not there. Now, let's talk about some Bitcoin dominance a little bit here. Bitcoin right here is at 60%, Ethereum at 11.6. Let me refresh this just to make sure. Yep, we're still there. So that means that we're getting closer and closer and closer to alt season. We're not officially, in my opinion, there. But at the same time, we're getting doggone close. Another thing, remember that nothing we say is financial advice. But if you like what you see today, we just ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate all you guys. Thank you for being a part of what we're doing here. Let's see what's up though. Looked at this. Now let's go to the actual X site for Polyswarm just to remind some of you guys about some things. Remember that Polyswarm right here has been added to the top made in America coins by Market Capitalization on Coin Market Cap, proudly built in the USA and driving the blockchain innovation with cybersecurity. So keep that in mind, made in the USA. So it's always a good thing to know that about Polyswarm. Now, another thing that we want to see that was on the site here, it says what's next for the reverse engineering. Our CTO at Mandiant, Mandiant is a cloud company of Google. Just a heads up on that. To unpack the evolution of binary analysis, tooling gaps, and what's needed to stay ahead of obfuscation. So these are security terminologies. Just to give you a heads up to let you know that Polyswarm is on their game and they're working very hard to keep up with the best technologies out there. So let me just kind of give you guys a little heads up with this. So it says must listen for threat researchers. We're not going to play it this time because I've already heard it. But what it's talking about is the ability of the devices to now reverse engineer the code that was already written. So you can kind of see code in real time as it was programmed all the way back certain years. So it just allows us to see things as they develop, and we're able to see a rewriting in the reverse. So that gives us the ability to acknowledge what was there at one time on a certain system. Very impressive. Not something that we're going to talk about as far as like, spend a whole bunch of time going into ourselves. But it's good to know that, and good to know that Polyswarm has these technologies under their, how can I say, in their toolbox, so to speak. So really good. So I have no idea what this is. This guy said I'm not a security threat. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes I like some of the things that are on the sites. So also what Polyswarm is doing, they're giving you a bunch of the different malwares that they're how can I say up against, etc. So let me just read this and we're going to move from the site. Is this where the cycle utility wins? AI-driven threat intel, real-world integrations, on-chain security tools. Will useful tech finally outpace the hype? We think so. What do you think will be left standing when the noise fades? So hashtag crypto, hashtag AI, hashtag cybersecurity, hashtag Web3, hashtag utility. So this is one of the things we got to understand about Polyswarm is it is a utility coin, and Polyswarm was the first crypto security, how can I say, based coin as far as like crypto coin based on cybersecurity and crypto security as well. So it's going back to I think 2018. I could be wrong. It says right here that they joined 2017 on the site, so maybe I'm a year off. But just a heads up, Polyswarm has been around a long time. So a lot of you guys already know that. We're not going to tell you anything new, but let's just remind you a little bit of the partners that we have once more. And looking down here, as you see, Alibaba, Malwation, we got Blue Hexagon, CrowdStrike is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I know that for certain. Kaspersky, those guys are huge. A lot of these companies that we can see here, let's see, VirusSide. Let me go on down a little bit further. There have been some more integrations. I remember Splunk joined not too long ago. We got Threat Connect, we got Threat Quotient, Cyware. A lot of great options that are out here concerning Polyswarm. Let me go back to where we see here. Now, Polyswarm has gone all the way up to as much as 17 cents. So, but one of the things that I'm looking for is an even greater breakout during this particular alt season. The thing about Polyswarm is that once it breaks out, I'm just gonna, my bad, I'm gonna go to all-time high here. All-time high is 17 cents, 17.34 cents. That was in 2022. So sometimes these things come a little bit later on. I'm not sure, but it was not too long ago few months ago, some of you guys remember Polyswarm was all the way up to 12 cents. And it was up to 12 cents and 2 cents. 10 cents, I mean. So it went up pretty far at this particular point. This was just a few months ago. That wasn't very long ago at all. Matter of fact, let me go ahead back to the chart. Look at the 1 year so I can remind myself of when that was. Let's see, where is this? This is this is January. Yeah, in January this was above 10 cents. It's a nice little flash there, and so just a heads up on this. It wasn't too long ago it was up that high. So the fact is that 40 million market cap, and a lot of other things that it has going for itself. I'm really looking for Polyswarm to, go up much higher. At the same time, I will say this much: it's a utility coin. I don't see a ton of advertisement out there for it, but maybe it's because it's a utility coin and it's a security coin. But at the same time, Polyswarm, I will say, Polyswarm has always been a winner for me, and I've really never had any trouble keeping the coin. If you're going to accumulate Polyswarm, though, you need to accumulate it at this level or lower, in my personal opinion. You don't want to get it at, anything higher because of the fact that you won't be able to make as large a profit. We're going to be able to make a huge profit off of Polyswarm. Like I said, not financial advice, but at the same time, make absolutely sure that you go ahead and start accumulating at this level or below. I wanted to go ahead and get that out there before this thing got, too high, because, it overnight this sucker can jump. Some of you guys that have kept Polyswarm before, that, overnight this particular crypto can jump. So get it before it jumps. We know it's going to jump sooner or later. If you've already seen the behavior of this particular coin, you know that it will move in a certain way, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, yeah, you're going to be like, I'm a little bit too late. So get it while you can, get it while this low, because it won't be at 2 cents or below forever. So anyways, good time to join the swarm. Guys, have a great one, and talk with you soon. Bye.
Please share, like, comment, and subscribe to Real Life Investing. And thank you for watching.